Trump calls out Putin. He's let me down. The US president's sharp words came during a joint press conference with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and it could mark a turning point in the war in Ukraine. What does this mean for peace, sanctions, and the West's unity? Let's break it down. On September 18, 2025, Donald Trump stood alongside Keir Starmer in England and made one of his most direct criticisms of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump said he believed peace in Ukraine could come easier because of his personal relationship with Putin, but now, he says Putin has let him down. In Trump's words, he's killing many people, and he's losing more people than he's killing. Trump stressed that while the war isn't directly affecting the US geographically, it could escalate into something far worse, warning that, unless resolved, it risks spiraling into a global conflict. Keir Starmer, however, took an even harder line. He highlighted Russia's recent actions, drones entering NATO airspace, strikes on Kyiv, even attacks near foreign embassies. For Starmer, Putin's actions prove he isn't serious about peace, but determined to continue aggression. His message was clear: the world must apply more economic pressure on Moscow. This is where the differences between Trump and Starmer stand out. Trump insisted that if Europe truly wants to pressure Putin, it must stop buying Russian oil. In his view, Europe's energy imports are still financing the Kremlin's war machine. Starmer, on the other hand, pushed for immediate and tougher sanctions, regardless of energy concerns. So why does this matter? Because unity is the most powerful weapon the West has. If the US, the UK, and Europe aren't aligned, Russia can exploit the cracks. Trump's disappointment signals a shift in tone, but his conditional stance puts more responsibility on Europe. Starmer's harder approach suggests Britain wants stronger and faster action. The implications are serious. Sanctions and oil embargoes could choke off Russia's economy, but they also carry risks: higher energy costs in Europe and possible political backlash at home. Meanwhile, Ukraine remains at the center of this war, yet too often outside the spotlight of these major diplomatic exchanges. Any peace deal must address Ukrainian sovereignty and security, or it risks being temporary at best. Looking ahead, several scenarios are possible. Europe could ramp up sanctions and cut oil imports, tightening the squeeze on Russia. Trump might attempt new negotiations, though his leverage appears weaker after saying Putin let him down. Or, the Western alliance could fracture if partners disagree on who should take the lead. And then, there's the risk of escalation, with drones crossing into NATO airspace and continued missile strikes on civilian targets. One wrong move could bring the conflict to an entirely new level. The key questions now: will Russia make any real concessions? Will Europe act on tougher sanctions? And will Ukraine be given a central role in any negotiations? The answers to these questions will shape not only the war, but also the future of global security. Conclusion: Trump's criticism of Putin may sound strong, but words alone won't end the war. Starmer's tougher stance puts pressure on Europe, but lasting peace will require unity, credible action, and Ukraine's voice at the table. What do you think? Are we closer to peace? Or is this just another round of political posturing? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on global politics and the Ukraine war.